All right, Adrian, thanks for joining me, bro. Appreciate you. I'm looking forward to having this discussion with you and getting some shine on everything that you got going on. One of the things I'd like to open up, ask you about is tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you got to where you are today.
So I grew up in San Diego, California, just suburb north of San Diego, a little town called Escondido. Joined the military in 2006 and um, was tried to get out a couple times of the military, but it just didn't work out for me. So I just continued on, and I'm very glad to where I am now. I'm glad I stuck with it. I have a lot of people that along my journey, that I'm going to talk about, that helped me along the way to kind of get me to where I am at now. Becoming a professional author now,
Yeah,
and then starting my own business down the road. So and soon to be retired from the military. So a lot going on right now.
that's exciting, man. Yeah, and it's been fun. I got to be there for a little bit of your journey, and our paths crossed a few years ago back at Northern California when we were stationed at Travis, doing our security forces thing. So I think both of us did a special duty up there as well. So it's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
Absolutely,
Yeah, man.
had a great time up there. Travis, probably one of my most favorite assignments. I met a lot of good people there as well.
Likewise, man. So here we are. We're rounding out our careers. You're on the cusp of retirement. You're in the DoD Skill Bridge program right now, right on your leave, on your way out.
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome. So how's that going so far? Are you feeling like you're
So
civilian yet?
it kind of feels like it so far. So I actually start the program in February. Right now, I got a little vacation time before I start
Excellent.
throughout the holidays, but I'm very excited to start that process and to become a business consultant or HR manager. I'm very excited to change my career field into the business realm.
Yeah, that's good, man. And I think a lot of the skills and experience that you got along the way is gonna not only help you be successful, but help those that you are out there working with find the goals that they're trying to achieve with your assistance. So, looking forward to talking about that a little bit too, man. So, tell us about your book, Leading Through
So
Humanism, right?
year, yeah, so years ago, I started this leadership philosophy, and it really stems from my looking back. It stems from my childhood and watching my father actually lead a team himself. So growing up, he was a park ranger.
Okay,
He managed a team of I think 10 rangers, and he led in a similar way that I do today. So he always put his people first, and he really brought a human aspect to his leadership style, and he took care of his people first, and that he made that his priority.
yeah,
So that was a good role model to look up. A very hardworking man. So that kind of led to me actually joining the Air Force. So um, crazy story. So once I started my my senior year, my father told me, "Hey, you know what? You're going into your senior year. You don't have anything lined up yet. You got a year to figure it out because when you graduate from high school,
yeah,
I'm not gonna have you just sit around the house and do nothing and kind of waste your life away. You're gonna go do something, whether it's go to college, or get a full time job or join the military." So I thought about it a little while, and after my senior year, after my football season, I didn't have a scholarship, didn't have really anything much going for me. I was actually maybe average to mediocre student, so I didn't really get accepted any colleges at all. So, but I graduated just fine on time. So it was January before I was about to graduate. So I decided to join the military. First, I thought I would go into the Navy
yeah.
because I was that kid. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing. My whole family did Air Force, but I want to do my own thing because I want to try the Navy.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
No shots at the Navy, but
yeah. I'm so glad I ended up Air Force.
yeah, man.
So I walked into the Navy recruiter, had appointment set up. Well, the recruiter stood me up. No one showed up. We sat there about 15 minutes in his office. He wasn't there. So I was like, you know what? All right, we're gonna leave. He's like, all right. my dad's like, you know, now that the Navy guy didn't show up, let's walk down the Air Force recruiter. So I walked right in. He was able to help me right away, and then I signed up in the DEP, the delayed entry program, in January of 2006.
Yeah. So your dad
So
had a lot of influence on the direction of your life initially there, but also it seems like the baseline of your philosophy that you talk about in this book as well.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So I didn't have a name for it at the time in the beginning, but over time I developed and kind of did my research. I'm like, you know what? Let's call it this because this is what it is. This is
Yeah.
what it is. So actually, humanism actually dates back to the medieval times.
Yeah.
It was a philosophy where um, that everyone had could contribute to the greater good of the society and the greater good of everybody, and everybody had value, and everybody valued each other. So, unfortunately, some people didn't take to that philosophy very well initially in those medieval times, and there was some wars that happened.
Yeah.
But
A few.
you know, a few wars that happened because that happened. So, um, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's still philosophy that works in my leadership style, and unfortunately, I'll get to that later. How that impacts actually kind of reflects the way I lead and how what things you got to deal with later on if you do my style. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
where I kind of called it. So
So along the way, certainly there's probably been some other things that helped you shape your philosophy. So tell us about your journey after had joining the Air Force, and what are some moments in time? 20 years is a long time, man. That's like half your life already. So given to service, and i- it's going to change you in some way, shape, or form. So obviously, it's inspired you enough to kind of take what you've learned and shape it into this. So tell everybody about how your journey has helped shape this philosophy as well.
so right when I started, actually it was 3 months before I joined the Air Force. I actually met my wife.
Okay.
So in 90 days, I met her, and then I told her, and I already told her that I was leaving for the Air Force. But we actually decided to stick with it. We gave love a chance, and she's the very first character that helped me build my philosophy.
Wow.
Because meeting her and all that, and having her in my life just at the perfect time, the right time, right before I left.
Yep.
She, though she her character built in my philosophy because she's the most loving, sweet woman I've ever met. Like she cares, puts everybody first. She cares about everybody, and she cares about everybody else's well being. And I kind of took her personality and kind of shaped it into my leadership style. Um, she countless of times she took care of me. She took care of me when I needed her the most. And I took what I learned from her and built that into my philosophy. And I care for my people and I put them first.
Yeah. Yeah. You put up with a lot in the military relationships. Have to endure quite a bit of unique things, deployments and TDYs and training, and just long shifts, especially in our career field. A lot of time away from the family, long hours. So that makes sense, man. Shout out to her for putting up with you all these years. Huh?
Yeah,
No,
she
that's
took care
good.
a lot all these over years. So I thank the Lord. She's put in my life right before my journey. So
No, that's good, man. Well, and congratulations to you both then for getting through this lifestyle and coming out on the other side intact and setting a role model for many people that are enduring the military life, trying to keep those relationships intact.
yeah. So and then moving on. So the very next character I met in my journey was my first flight chief, which is a shift manager in the Air Force.
Okay. Yep.
Um, Gary Vaughn. So he's my very first manager leader, and he would go to bat for you to the fullest extent. So he had your back, and no matter what you did, he didn't care if you made a mistake. All he cares about is that we learn from it, and we move on, we grow. He would defend us as much as possible, and he cared about the airmen and the employees first. So I kind of took his example, his style, and embedded it into my leadership style. Because now when I lead my airmen, I always tell them, I don't care if you make a mistake. I don't care if mistakes were had, as long as that not on purpose, maliciously, we'll get past it. We'll train from it. We'll learn from it, and there's no need to hammer you for it. So,
Yeah, mistakes happen. I always try to lean that way as well, and I think people sometimes are afraid to approach mistakes when they happen. One of the leadership lessons I learned from a an Air Force chief was that bad news doesn't get better with time. So people, if you make a mistake, just go tell your boss, go own up to it, take accountability for it right then and there, because it's only gonna get worse if you try and cover it up or something of that nature. Maybe not everybody is leading like you are, and has that approach, Adrian, but I think that more times than not, I think most people do. Uh, you work through it. You work through it. Is it? Am I going to get paperwork, or am I going to get decertified? Am I going to have to retrain on something? Maybe, but it doesn't mean that it's a character issue, right? Character issue is you. Hey, I stole something. I lied about
mhm.
something. I fudged a signature. I tried to cover something up. Those are character problems. Making a mistake is a lack of training, a lack of experience, maybe just a bad judgment call. You know, doesn't mean you're a POS. It means that you're human. So I like that
And then
philosophy, man.
that goes back to my biggest point. My biggest part of my philosophy is vulnerability. So when I was going through my graduate school for my master's through American Military University, a part of it was to learn about vulnerability and study Dr. Brene Brown.
Yeah,
And once I learned about her philosophy and what she brings to the table, vulnerability meaning you just be open and honest and open about everything. If you made a mistake, let's talk through it. We're not going to get mad. We're going to grow as a team.
yep,
And because of that, because of what I learned from her, I gained a lot of confidence in my leadership style, and I was able to go above and beyond where I was before.
yeah,
Because before I was that leader I was scared to make a mistake. I want to be perfect all the time, and leadership is not no by me is not mean being perfect.
for
Leadership
sure.
is setting the example. Leadership is helping your people grow, and it's also knowing that embracing your mistakes.
Yeah, you have to. They're gonna come, and how you handle it really matters. Like, what is your attitude in the midst of chaos, and then in the aftermath as well? Do you find somebody and make them your scapegoat? You're gonna have problems if that's you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes,
There's a lot of people that do that, unfortunately. That's probably one of the cardinal sins of leadership. Hey,
right.
my supervisor just threw me under the bus. Never want to work for that person again. You know,
Absolutely
you,
not.
you might
So
have to, but you never know.
I don't always know the answers myself. And when I don't care if it's the very first earliest employee, the very first airman that knows the answer.
Hmm.
Go. Let's bring it in. You know the answer. I don't. Let's grow from. Let's build a team together. And that's how you build trust and high performing teams.
Yeah, trust is essential, right? So like in your experiences, you've been through some, I guess people would say, toxic work environments, right? And they give you some hurdles to jump and some things to work through. Um, maybe the word toxic gets thrown around a little too casually these days, but certainly there are some bad scenarios where either it's a bad boss, a bad work environment, bad team, just a bad scenario, and it didn't, come out to be so simple, smooth. Do you have any examples of that that you want to discuss?
Yes. It was a 3 year time frame at one of my bases installations to where I got there, and to be honest, this was wild to me. I got removed from my position over a training exercise, and that was the first one I've ever heard that ever happening. And it was wild to me. I'm like, oh, maybe this is normal now. Um, but continuing on, I gave the team formal feedback through the annual survey, DEOX we call in the Air Force. After doing that, I was kind of treated a little bit differently. I got put research behind my what I told them and what I felt, and for some reason, I was targeted, and everything, the small little mistake I made, I was written up for from that point on. So, um, and unfortunately, they actually also claimed that I was being too soft and too easy on my airmen. But I refuse to hammer my airmen the same way that they hammered me. There's no reason for that. For me, it's learning together and growing together. There's no reason to hammer everyone for every little thing they do. Otherwise, we're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah, it's hard. We all got to be on the same page, and I think sometimes um, there are teams and groups of leaders that don't bring everyone together and try to figure out why are you leading the way you're leading? Does that mean it's wrong? No. Is it different? Maybe. Okay, so can we find a middle ground where maybe this other leader over on the other side, a shift leader, flight chief, whatever it is leading a certain kind of way, and then the airman that works for him come work for you, and then they come back again, and so you have these mixed personalities with varying leadership styles and philosophies that sometimes if you get everybody in the same room, you find your common ground. You can help the organization level out a little bit. But and then instead of scapegoating people or railroading them and creating that famous toxic environment, that's what happens, man. So how'd you come out the other side?
So because I refused to subject my airmen to what I was subject to and protect them, unfortunately, I ended up with receiving what's called a referral performance report,
Mhm.
which is pretty much the worst performance report you can get as any for your annual report. And as a senior NCO, that locks you down for promotion for 5 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
It's
to me,
gonna be on the record for your board the whole time. Yeah.
because that was decision was made for me, I decided to work towards retirement as soon as possible, as soon as I can, and kind of get my feet back under me and work towards what I know I'm capable of.
Yeah.
Fortunately, because of fortunately, but not fortunately, we my family ran into some health problems when I was on my previous station, and we were a little bit remote. We didn't have the healthcare we needed, so we were able to move back to Las Vegas at
Yeah.
Nellis Air Force Base. We started there and met my commander and everything. I told him my story. He wanted to hear my story. And I was expecting him to take my previous leadership side and kind of, downplay what I went through. But surprisingly enough, my commander at my current station, he was very receiving. He was very understanding of my situation. He wanted to hear my story,
Yeah.
and he felt like I had more to offer than the way I was treated at my last station. Because of that, he helped me actually on my way. He helped me get my feet back under me. And lo and behold, a year later, I'm writing my book. I'm about to become a professional author. Got team of the quarter, or sorry, flight chief of the quarter. All these different accolades. Working on a Library of Congress project.
Yep.
We actually became a mentor for the top 5% of the nation for graduates. So um, it just my career just blew up, just being in the right place and having the right people around you. So I feel like having the right people around you and surrounding yourself around the right people is huge with your career.
Yeah, man. I mean, you think about back to your comment about when you were studying in college, you were reading Brene Brown's book. Maybe it's hard for some military folks to apply some lessons of the corporate world to what we do, but there are some pretty straight lines that do work. Um, what I can say is that you sometimes you got to go through it to get where you're supposed to be on your journey, and that's the whole message about right it's about the journey, not the destination.
Yes.
But sometimes the
All
journey,
about that.
why's the journey gotta be so painful sometimes? But it is what it is. I think you came out better for it. If you think about it, the rough patches are what season us in life, and you were built to get through it, and you did, and that's great news to hear that your new team is a good place for you, and it's helping you bridge your way out into your future, man.
Appreciate that.
So, what can people expect? When is the book coming out? When are you planning to finish the publishing and all that? I know it's right around the corner, right? It's pretty close.
Absolutely. So right now it's in copyright. So it's been in about copyright for about 3 weeks, waiting for that to go through. But I plan on releasing it in February. It'll be available on Amazon through Kindle Publishing.
Excellent.
Um, Title's going to be Leading Through Humanism. It's going to talk about all about my philosophy, where it came from, all the characters I met along my way
Yeah,
to get to where I was. So
that's exciting, man. Yeah, I'm very proud to have the opportunity to speak with you today and help you get the word out about your book. And that's a pretty big accomplishment. And you're doing some cool stuff, man. I'm excited, man. I'm getting what's that called? FOMO. I'm like, man, I gotta be more like Flo over here. I gotta get I gotta get my stuff together. That's
trying to do big things on the world, trying
yeah.
to become a force to be reckoned with on the outside. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited for my next journey. So
Well, no doubt, man. Yeah, it's that's pretty good. You said you're also possibly going to be starting a business. What's on your mind? Have you not? Is that something you would like to talk about today?
yeah, so I'm very in the very infant phases of figuring out the logistics for it and what exactly it's going to be. But I want to teach a online course. It's going to be around 3 to 4 weeks, and help people grow, teach people my philosophy. Because my biggest initiative on the outside the military now, is to prevent toxic leadership or reduce as much as possible on the outside, teaching people these new skills and teaching people how a better way to lead.
I like it, man. Give some people some different tools for their toolbox. That's good, man. Yeah, I think it's a noble endeavor. Get out there and try to give people some lessons. So I'm going to ask you, maybe give a couple pointers. All right. So you've been in for a long time. You've been an NCO, which is a non-commissioned officer for those that aren't familiar, which is basically where you start doing formal leadership in the Air Force. So for the brand new, or maybe somebody who's close to it and a prospective future supervisor, could you give them one pointer?
My first pointer is get to know your people first. So a lot of people they come in aggressive, they put their foot down, and which will work, which you get you your results. However, you're going to see your team quickly fade, quickly lose morale, and they're going to feel like they're always just being railroaded by you. First, you need to get to know your people, get to know their story, get to know where we're shorting fall or where our shortfalls are for what's going on, where our shortfalls are with standards and all that, and then enforce it after you get to know your people. So I used to do what's called a shirts off meeting, which in the military means you take your blouse off. I'm no longer in this rank right now. We're going to talk man to man, person to person, man to woman, whatever it may be. And I want to know you as a person first, right? That way it kind of takes the pressure off my airmen, off my team, and let them know, like, hey, you can trust me. We're all people. We're here to learn and grow together. And I'm not here to railroad you about everything you do.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. Yeah, that's some good starter tips for sure. So, how do you think the getting to know people is extremely important? I agree with you. I think sometimes we move too fast, or we take things for granted, and where we make assumptions, and those are really risky. Every time you open your mouth as a leader, you're taking a risk. You may say the wrong thing. You may offend somebody. You may turn them off from following you where you need to go, whether that be instruction or just trusting you, whatever the case may be. So the better you know people, the better you know what to say, what not to say. Better you know how to challenge them. The better that you know how to also encourage them and lift them up and give them opportunities that they're actually looking for. That buys you a lot. Buys you a lot of success in your relationship and also whatever your mission might be. Now, what about the seasoned guys? Guys that are maybe they've turned the corner, they're in their twilight of years, and they're getting ready to maybe follow in your footsteps and hit that retirement button soon. What kind of pointers could you give old guys like us?
Basically, think about your mental health and mental health of your team first, right? So when you make a decision, whether it's paperwork, whether it's disciplinary action, you always got to give that person a way out and a way to grow back. Because a lot of times, in my career, I've seen, even as that was done to me, where I was railroad, I was getting paperwork, and I was told just figure it out. So that's not how we do business. We need to bring that person back up, and we need to help them grow and get to where they need to be. Also, the biggest, very most important thing is, I'll go back to it again, is vulnerability, right? Like I said, when I first started out, I was a nervous lead. I was nervous to make a decision, nervous to make a mistake, nervous to fail. But what I've learned is, and the phrase I come over now is "Why the heck not?" Right? So at first I was nervous to start my business, nervous to write my book, but thinking back, like, why not? Why not? If I don't take a chance and put my neck out there and try for it, I'm never gonna know if I'm gonna succeed at it.
Yeah. You got to be willing to take the armor off and go through it a little bit. Can't protect yourself all the time. Sometimes you have to just open up and see where it takes you, for sure. Well, man, I think that was pretty good. I don't know how much time you have. We're rounding around the 30-minute mark. Is there anything else that you would want to share about yourself? Anybody that might want to collaborate with you, talk about your book or leadership? What about the National Society for Leadership and Success? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. So, I actually, going through my graduate school, I made it my goal to be the best leader I can be. So, thankfully, I was given a lot of tools from the Air Force to learn. And then when I pursued my master's degree in management, putting the two together, I was able to get a pretty high GPA of 3.89.
Nice.
And I was actually recommended for my professors to be inducted into the National Society of Leadership and Success, which means that makes you the top 5% in the nation for your graduate, for your field and leadership field. So it is an awesome organization to get into. So if you're ever going through a management or leadership type style degree, psychology is also included in that. I definitely recommend you get involved with that organization. You work your tail off and get inducted to that, because I met a plethora of network of people through this organization that are like minded. They want to grow, they want to develop, and it keeps me motivated too. So even though I'm out of school already, it keeps me going, keeps me motivated to do more. So I think they also played a role of me actually progressing and continuing on my journey.
Yeah. Keeps you motivated.
Yes.
Could you tell us about like the requirements? What makes a person a good candidate for the organization? What is the threshold of entry, and what do they have to do in order to, like earn status as a member?
So first they gotta get honors in their school and their degree. So I think it's above a 3.5 minimum. And then from then forward, they need to be recommended by their professors to join. And then that means they see your leadership potential to be able to grow. And then once you get nominated for that, to get inducted further on, you actually have to set some goals for yourself. Uh, and you actually have to talk about those goals in a formal setting, in a mentorship setting. And then you got to do 3 different weeks of those. So you got to talk with your group and then want to see your development. You got to get formal feedback on that, and feedback of where you're at and what your progress is for that. So I was able to become a mentor to facilitate that process. So
Excellent.
very good, very great opportunity. Like I said, it helps me continue with my motivation and actually mentor people and keep my skills sharp.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, congratulations on finding another group to set benchmarks in and help people find their success. I know you're going to do continue to do good things over there, man. So, um, what about reaching out to you? How can people find you?
So I'm definitely on Instagram. So leading dash through dash humanism. So I am on Instagram. That's my business page. Also, I'm on LinkedIn. So just type my name in LinkedIn, and you can find me there. And I'll be able to give you updates for my book. And oftentimes I post motivational stuff and tips for leaders that want to grow.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll be sharing some graphics and posting some social media content as well, both on my Marclair project page and also my business page, Coyote Leadership. This interview will be dual platformed. So, whichever channel you're watching on, just make sure that you hit that subscribe button, follow along. If you want to message me, I can put you in contact with Adrian as well. Adrian, man, I appreciate you. Everything that you're doing is awesome. You're making an impact, and thank you for taking some time to get with me and do an interview. I'd love to have you come back once you get the book out and you start getting some, buzz going. We'll do it again. What do you think?
Sounds good. I look forward to. And again, thank you for the opportunity to help me grow and help me develop my initiative.
You got it, brother. All right, man. Until next time.
Thank you.